level is just too advanced. The bezel is Tiffany stamp. Don't grip on my hand. I know that I came with the slide from left to right, but now I don't wanna dance. I got too much on the line, too much on my mind, too much ain't enough of my plans. Nike don't pay me to tell you just do it. They pay me to show you I do it again. I can't be pale in my casket. Make sure I die with a tan. It's part of the brand. I know that I came with a slide from left to right, but now I don't wanna dance. Can I depend on a man? I slide some bread in the jam. That's just who I am. Custom just waving at us from the window. They don't even come on the plane when we land. Anyone else would retire, but I'm not content.
Welcome back to the locker room. It's just me and Luke this week. We're going to be talking about some NBA playoffs. So to start, we have the Knicks and Hawks series. It's tied 1-1. We're coming off a big game. The Hawks won by 1 point, 107-106. And with Game 3 tonight, Luke, as a Knicks fan, what are you looking forward to?
Obviously the last game was rough. They did not play well. Well, they did for the first half. They fell apart late in the game like they usually do. And, I mean, you could tell the whole game. We have way more talent than the Hawks. And it shouldn't be a problem. It just scares me playing like that. It's so different than last year when they were coming back every game and fighting that I don't know how far you could really go into the playoffs with this team with Mike Brown coaching them.
Yeah.
I think you could win this first round. They probably will end up winning this first round in 6 games or whatever, but they don't give me any confidence right now.
Yeah, I was really surprised by C.J. McCollum. I know he's been playing well down the stretch, but he took that offense and he commanded it throughout the whole game. He dropped 32 points, and I was just surprised by their clutch time offense. Like, they don't really have a guy that, the general public would think of as a superstar, but they have a really good team, and they're very well coached by Quinn Snyder. I got to give him credit. He's just been, mixing, matching lineups, seeing what works. And I do think you guys win in 6. You guys are the more talented team. You guys have the 2 best players in the series. But for the Hawks to accomplish that was pretty good for them.
Yeah, but if they play like this and then they go into a series against Boston, who's currently tied 1-1 with Philly, they have no chance of beating Boston this year playing like this. They'd have to completely change it around, which I can't see happening.
Yeah. So now moving on to the Timberwolves and Nuggets series. It's also tied 1-1. Game 3 is also tonight, but the Timberwolves came back and won 119-114. They were down by like 13 points in the first quarter, but then they flipped it around. And I think the story of this game was Jokic's lack of aggression on offense. I know he had like 25 points, but you really saw, especially down the stretch, he was kind of deferring to other guys like Christian Brown and Jamal Murray, which, you normally say, oh, Jokic, he's a great passer. But I think he's got to be a little bit more aggressive coming down the stretch.
Yeah, I agree. The Timberwolves, I thought first half of that game, I thought they were done. I thought Edwards was a little hurt, maybe not playing how he usually plays. But then they stepped it up, and I'd say, yeah, the real story was Jokic just not taking over the game and finishing it out like he usually does. Like, usually if you're up 10 with that team late in a game, it's over. But the Timberwolves fought back, and they got some talent with Randall and Edwards. If they're healthy, they're going to be playing well. Gobert, too. It's going to be a tough series for Denver now.
Yeah, shout out to Gobert. I know he takes, a lot of crap for, not being a great offensive player. He only had 2 points, but he's, I'd say, the best matchup on Jokic that any team in the West really can throw at him. I mean, especially in Game 1 in the first half of Game 1 when they were playing well, they were, Gobert was just bodying Jokic in the paint, and not a lot of guys can do that.
Yeah, there's probably 3 guys in the league that could really handle Jokic, and another one's Wembanyama, who won Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, and Wemby's concussed right now, so
I don't know what's going to happen with him. That's really interesting because they lost to Portland. That series now 1-1, and we don't know when Wemby's coming back, and they were up with him and looked like a completely different team without him.
Yeah, I know, concussion protocol in football, that's
It's like a week.
It's a week.
Yeah.
But I have no clue what it is in basketball.
Know.
I mean,
it doesn't happen that much, but that's going to be really interesting. It's going to be a tough series if he doesn't play. Portland's a young, tough, they fight hard. I don't think they're the best team, but the Spurs, without their superstar Wembanyama, it's going to be a tough series, I think.
Yeah, maybe Wemby's got to wear a Guardian cap, We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But that's going to be it for the locker room this week from me and Luke. We'll see you next week.